again, everyone, and welcome back to another track guide for the V8 Vets Season 20, round number 9. This week we are at Road Atlanta. Simple track on paper, but very tricky. Got to really utilize all the curbing as you can, where you can, and it really is a driver's track. You know, you really got to hustle the car through that first sector to get the lap time out of it. So putting in your laps this week will be very crucial. One thing I will say, the setup is quite bouncy over the curbs. So some of the curbs which we normally would attack a lot harder, we can't. Just because the car wants to bounce too much over them. But yeah, other than that, the setup is quite nice and fairly consistent when it comes to a race run. So, yeah, it should make for some good racing this week, hopefully. But there is only about 2 or 3 spots where you can get a pass done without going for an outrageous dive bomb. So, your strategy will be more key to a good race result. And yeah, it should make for an interesting race come Thursday night. With that all being said, we'll hit the track and get stuck into the track guide. So here we are on track at Road Atlanta. As always, I've gone out, done my little bit of a race run to get my brake bias how I wanted it, and 52.6 is where I sort of ended up at. Any more, sort of wanted to brake a bit, lock a brake a bit too much, any less, and the rear was a bit too loose under brakes for me. At this track, you'll always get a little bit of brake locking, just to the way the curbs are and the way some of the corners like to camber inwards. So that front inside tyre sometimes gets a little bit unloaded with how the corners are. So you'll always get that little bit of brake locking, but it's alright. As I said, it's quite consistent, as you can see over a race run. Ignoring that lap where I went off the track, it's quite nice. So, should make for some good racing. Best lap of the session though was a 1 minute 18.101. Probably a little about another 10th in it, just by utilizing a few more of the curbs a bit nicer as I sort of got used to how the car rides the curbs with this setup. But in saying that, that is quite a fast lap time, and I'm quite happy with that lap. So we'll get stuck into the guide. I've done my usual out lap, a little bit faster than normal, just to get a little bit of tyre temp, as turn 1 is quite crucial. You can lose 2 to 3 tenths just in turn 1, just by not having your tyre quite right. So we're up and over the curb and around, and then we're braking just as we get to just before we're getting to the end of the grass here. Down 2 gears and into 4th. And then we're basically, where I've come off the brakes here is where you want to be getting hard on the power again. Right in the divot of this corner here is your apex. A little bit of curb, hard on the power, and up the hill. We're not using all the exit, as if we get too close, you sort of end, even though like the track looks like it's rubbered up, it is quite slippery the further out you go, and you run the danger of hitting this curb, getting loose, and ending up in those tyres. So I don't go all the way out, I stay basically, you know, to where this crack or seam line is in the tarmac. Run it up the hill, no real braking marker for this corner. It's basically just as you crest the hill, or just before you crest the hill, or just before you hit the rev limiter in 4th gear. Usually I'm right on top of this curb, but due to the setup, I'm only using the last little bit, as the car will bounce and send you basically flying through the next corner. A little bit of the curb, and then we're looking to basically jump the whole curb of this right-hander here. Down into third, over the top, staying in third, and then we're straddling this next curb all the way around. We'll short shift to fourth, all the way around. Little lift off the throttle, no brake, just a lift, just to get the nose of the car to drop into the downhill of this next corner. And then hard on the power again. Use a bit of curb, use all the curb, hard on the limiter, and braking just before we're getting to the curbing here. Down into third gear, over the curbing, use all the exit. We'll get a little bit loose, but that's alright. Next, we're looking for the 200 meter mark. Braking just before, down into third gear. Again, we're trying to get the car in nice and close to this curbing, not on top of it all the way, just in nice and close to help rotate the car through the mid corner. Right out to the exit, and as soon as the car's straight, we're braking. Down into second gear, and we want to go up on top of this curb while the tyres are nice. As the tyres start to go away, it does get harder and harder to get up onto this curb because that front left really takes a beating around here. So we'll want to push through that mid corner. But the closer you can get to this curb, the better. The exit of this corner, very crucial, as it is the long back straight, which sets you up for your main overtaking point on the circuit. So be wary of your rear tyres, as it is very easy to light them up here. Use all the exit, and then we'll get our first bit of a break, as that first sector of the track is quite busy. We're staying to the left to open up the right hand corner here. And as we're coming down the hill, what I'm looking for are these two concrete blocks. They're a slightly lighter colour than the rest. It's about 130 meters. So, you know, I'm aiming to try to get to there, but it's about 130 where I'm wanting to be braking. Down the gears into second, using all of this inside curb plus a bit of dirt and grass that we're allowed to. And we're trying to make this one a later apex to get the run up the hill and miss a very sharp or, you know, bump that's in this curbing here. Staying in second, up to third, and then we're aiming to run the car underneath the white, under the Fox factory signage here, and getting nice and close to this the edge of the track here, or the white line. Next, we're looking for the edge of the track, or the last bit of the curbing. That's where you want to basically start turning in for the final corner. Once we've hit there, we turn it in, up to fifth, trying to get on top of this curb. Can't use as much as what I usually like to do because of the setup, so a little bit less, modulating the throttle through, and then hard back on the power and praying that it sticks. And there's a lap of Road Atlanta. Very busy little track, physically demanding if you've got your wheel fairly turned up, as I do. And as I've said, it's a driver's track. You really got to hustle it through that first sector to get the lap time out of it. But not hustling it, but not over driving it as well. So yeah, it's that fine line. But I really enjoy the track. It's good fun. The supercar loves it. With all the curbing and with the right setup, it's really, really enjoyable. Yeah, this setup's very nice, but it just doesn't ride the curbs quite how I'd like. But it is still a very nice setup. So we'll jump on board now. You can have a look how I do the lap from the cockpit position, and see if you pick up any more pointers. And there we have it, another track guide done for another week. Yeah, good fun track. Really can hustle the car around here, especially through that first sector, like I said. But also being smooth with the inputs is crucial for the lap time around here. Make sure you get in the laps this week, as you know you've got to be using those curbs, and the setup's just not quite tuned to my liking for the way I like to attack the curbing around here. For others, it might be different, but yeah, get those laps in, get used to the car, how this setup likes to run over those curbs, because there's lap time to be found by doing so. So yeah, good luck, have fun this week. Really think about your strategies. You know, it is hard to pass here, so your strategy will be very important for a race result here. But yeah, hopefully you've all learnt something. Thanks everyone for tuning in and supporting the track guides. It's been really appreciated. And I hope to see you all again next week for another track guide. Bye bye.